Good evening, everybody. It's Deacon Tim Wyman here, and I'm glad you're here. Those of you that are tuning in on Facebook and YouTube and through our parish website, we're glad you're here. My name, as I said, is Deacon Tim Wyman, and I'm here with a couple of folks from both Christ the King and Mary Queen, and we're here tonight to kind of give you a quick overview and an invitation about Catholics returning home. And here, let me turn off my sound on the other side so I don't get interrupted here.
Everybody, Deacon Tim Wyman
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, well, I'm coming at me multiple ways here. There we go. So we're here tonight to talk about Catholics returning home, and I'm joined with by Whitney Allen, who is a member of the team here at Christ the King, and Lee McGrath, who is also with us, and she's from Mary Queen. And we are really hosting this program in January. You'll hear all about it here. We're hosting it together. During the pandemic, we did this once before, midsummer. Had a great experience. Of course, we'd all like to be in person with these things, but we do what we can with what we're given. So we were inspired to go ahead and do this again after Christmas and New Year. And so Whitney and Lee are here with me tonight, and we're just here to kind of share with you what Catholics returning home is all about. So with that, let me get my little guide here. So first, I just want to welcome everybody in, and you've probably heard about Catholics returning home, but Whitney, I just want to, if you don't mind leading us off and kind of just give everybody a quick overview. What is Catholics returning home all about?
It's really about being a place for people who've been away from the faith for many, many years, or maybe they just need to reconnect on a deeper level with the faith, and it builds a foundation back for the people that attend. We go through faith sharing, what the church looks like today after Vatican II, since a lot of people that go through the program have been gone for many years. We go through the Mass and reconciliation, confirmation, or I said reconciliation, Mass and Eucharist, sorry, and we break down the creed, and all of those things combined kind of build onto each other each week, and it really provides an environment for people to relearn, re-engage with the faith, and get excited about going deeper in a really private and safe environment.
Yeah, and it's really small group oriented, isn't it? We have people really interacting on a very, even though we're remote, doing it sort of intimately and with a small group of people. So this is not a big public thing. It's a very intimate, private thing. Wouldn't you agree?
Very much so, yeah. And it's one of the things that I think people can be a little bit apprehensive about coming to a program like this, but that's one of the things that I think make people stay throughout the whole 6 weeks, is that it is that more private, intimate group.
Yeah, Lee. What's your thoughts in terms of our teaming up as two parishes, Christ the King and Mary Queen? How's that worked out? Since we before
I
the
think
pandemic,
it's a
now that we're in the pandemic.
I think it's a wonderful idea. It's amazing how we can adapt so well, and I feel so blessed that we have Zoom and platforms that we can get together and share. It's a safe environment. It's a comfortable way to get together and to connect. I remember connecting with you about 4 years ago when I was on the evangelization team at Mary Queen, and you described the whole program to us. And it was just fascinating. I have people in my family who have left the church. And so it was just a wonderful way to hear about what the church has to offer. I know that anyone could be apprehensive about making that step, but whoever's listening and is considering that, and God is moving you in that direction, I want to assure you that we as a team have been praying for you, even though we don't know you yet. We've been praying, and we are committed to making sure that this is a very welcoming, non-threatening, non-judgmental, open kind of an environment. I want whoever is interested in considering this to know one thing, that you will be listened to. That's our job. You will be listened to. And we're all at different places in that journey. But one thing that you can rest assured that, well, anybody who participates and those of us on the team who are participating, we're all journeying together. We're all on the journey together, and we're all going in the same direction. So it's non-judgmental, it's non-threatening, it is as informal. You can be as open as you are comfortable with to share, knowing that confidentiality is imperative.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that the idea of Zoom, like you said, it's really a blessing. We have this technology now to allow us to do this in this situation. And of course, we'd all rather be in person, but even with Zoom, the experience has been very good in the sense of people sharing their story. And again, as you say, we're here to welcome and really welcome. Period. I mean, everybody has their story, and we all have everything. The things that we have to deal with. So we bring that with us, and the team is. In fact, I'm going to sort of transition over to Whitney now, because Whitney herself. Now she's a team member, a very active parishioner at Christ the King, involved in several ministries. But Whitney herself came through Catholics Returning Home several years ago. So, Whitney, if you wouldn't mind, just kind of share your story and tell you how this came to be for you.
Sure. So I had been I'm a cradle Catholic and went to Catholic school for 12 years. And about late in high school, I really fell away from the church and was away for, gosh, probably close to 20 years. And through my own challenges in my life with struggles that my husband and I had to try to build a family. It brought me to a place where I was really struggling internally and spiritually and in all of my relationships, and I realized I couldn't do this alone anymore, and I felt a really strong pull to come back to the church, but I didn't really know how to do that. Which maybe that sounds silly, but I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to come back in the way that I wanted to. And I started going to mass here and there at the cathedral. And one day I saw this great big banner in the middle of the front of the cathedral that said Catholics Returning Home. And I decided I would try it, and I was terrified. And I think I got halfway down the stairs to the room and almost turned around and ran back to the parking lot, but I didn't. Um, and I stayed those 6 weeks, and it really changed my life. And in a lot of ways, I can kind of measure my life before Catholics Returning Home and my life after, because the other side of those 6 weeks brought me a lot of community and joy and peace. And it led me to being involved at the cathedral and developing ministries for people who are like me that struggle to have a family. And the cathedral's been really supportive of that as well. But it was because of Catholics Returning Home that even became a reality. And it's one of the greatest blessings I think that I've been given.
Wow. Well, yeah, very good. And so I know there's a lot of people listening out here, either parishioners or people that are in the church. There may be some here that are in that situation you were in, Whitney. You've been away for whatever reason, forever how long. I think the message we all three want to give is, if you're in the church and you're actively practicing your faith, and think about those out there who are away from the church. And most of us don't have to look very far. So, your family, your friends, your coworkers, who are those that might be out there, and especially in this time of pandemic, I think a lot of us in and out of the church have asked a lot of questions about what this is all about. We got knocked off our collective horses in a lot of ways. And so this is a time I think a lot of people are asking a lot of deep questions. And so if you know people who are away from the church, are Catholic, but away, not practicing their faith, think about inviting them back to Catholics Returning Home. We'd really love to see that, love to welcome them. And so it'd be a great gift you could give somebody entering into the new year. And if you're one of those that are that are not in the church right now, please just consider this your invitation to come and be a part of this. It is a 6-week series, but you know what? You're not signing a contract. If you come the first night and it doesn't seem right for you, then you don't have to come back. So just sort of leave that open for everybody to consider. So Lee, you've been on several teams of Catholics Returning Home. what can people expect if they say, okay, I'll give this a shot? What can they expect when they come into, we're doing it on Zoom, but what kind of environment are they going to come into? How would you describe it?
They're going to come into a very welcoming, non-threatening environment. They're going to come into an environment where we are happy to see you. We are glad you're back, that you are just a vital part of this whole community. They're going to come into a situation that's going to be informational. They're going to get that updated information on the basics of the church. They're going to be coming back to a church that is not perfect. So if you're coming back thinking that the church is going to be perfect, it's not, because we are not perfect people. But you're coming back to an environment where the foundation is so strong. The basics of the faith are so strong. And you're going to come back knowing that you are loved, that God loves you, and we love you just because of who you are. You're going to be accepted for who you are, right where you are. We're not here to change you, to preach at you, to make you feel guilty. Not what this is all about. I was in the church after the divorce. I stepped into the church, but I was so far removed from the church. And going through doing Catholics Returning Home was formational for me, that I was loved and that I was vital. So you're going to be loved. You're going to be welcomed. You're not going to be judged. And we're just going to be there for you.
Yeah, yeah. I think the other thing I would say, and just adding on to what you said, is bring your questions. I mean, you might come back and you had, some legitimate questions that took you out of the church, or you just never quite got good answers for. And I think that's, we're not here to present some pristine, church that doesn't have its issues. We have our issues. It's clear. Somebody said one time, everybody in the church are sinners and we've got room for one more. Come on in with us. We're all imperfect and we're all working our way through life and doing it very imperfectly most of the time. So, but we know there's a vision that God has for all of us. So we would just ask people to come back, bring your questions. We have great discussions. We have great speakers. Bishop John will be with the group one night to talk about the church and its current, like what's going on currently in the church. So you have an opportunity to ask questions, to talk and discuss. So just one other option, but let me sort of bring this to a conclusion. Whitney, you sort of alluded to it briefly in your testimony there, but how was that first night when you came in? What was that experience for you, and how did you push through that the first night to have that ultimately great experience that you did have?
Well, we're virtual this year, so it's a little bit different. But when we were in person, I was terrified. I really thought, I was like, the two worst scenarios for me was, one, that I was the only person that was going to be there, and two, that there was going to be 50 people there. And so it's kind of like that fear that you have when you throw a party, like nobody's going to come, too many people are going to come. But I was terrified. I felt like I didn't belong there, that I was I'd been gone too long. I forgot too many things. I just, I wasn't holy enough, and I didn't deserve to be there. And it was sort of immediate that I realized that I was sitting around a table of people just like me, and we all had our own stories, but we were all seeking that place in God, and wondering if we were right, and we were all scared. And I think just kind of that, having that community of people around me, realizing that I wasn't alone, but also the way that the program is structured, I sort of immediately felt at ease that I wasn't being judged, and I could learn so much, and I could do it in a really gentle way, but in also a really meaningful way that was going to address a lot of the things that I had maybe questioned or just forgotten about the faith. So yeah, it was sort of immediate that I felt like I was with other people just like me, and we were going to learn together.
Great. Great. So, well, Whitney and Lee, thank you so much for joining me tonight. While we're sort of wrapping this up, I just want to throw up on the screen here So if you do have questions, either you're somebody, you know some people that you want to invite, here's the kind of the resources for you. We got our website for more information. Whitney herself is happy to be a contact if you want to talk to a person or email. She can answer any questions you have. And if you're ready to you've heard enough, I'm ready to, or you know somebody that's ready to sign up, you can just go right to the registration page there and let us know you're interested. And somebody will follow right up with you once we get that information. So again, thanks everybody for being with us. And we hope you'll talk to people, talk this up, talk to your family, friends, invite them to come, and just, let them know they can come one night. And if they don't feel comfortable, they don't feel like it's for them, they don't have to come back. But we'd love to see them at least that first night. And I guess the equivalent for you, Whitney, is you won't be sitting in the parking lot. You'll be sitting there with your mouse on the Zoom join button and wondering if I should click it, right? So
That's right.
we'll ask people to go ahead and click it. You won't regret it. And we're looking forward to seeing you. And what's the starting date here? It looks January 7th.
January 17th at
So we'll be on
6:30.
Sunday nights,
Yep.
starting on the 17th from 6:30 to 8:30. So there's the time frame for you. And we do hope we'll see you in just a few weeks. And don't hesitate to reach out if we can answer any questions for you. So everybody have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.